What's up, everybody? Um, yes, it's finally here. My long-awaited follow to my movie review. I know it's been a year and a couple of months. I know I'm sorry for the wait. I'm gonna try to do these movie reviews probably more often now. Um, yeah, man. So like, I've been watching a lot of really good movies lately. Not just like I've been like spending my movie watching more and stuff like that. So you'll be surprised what movies I might touch upon, though. You know what I'm saying? And so this movie I'm about to review is one of my favorite movies of all time and one of the most underrated movies. I don't really hear a lot of people. I don't really hear a lot of people talking about this. It's Higher Learning, released in 1995. Um, Dope ass movie. Again, it's like really one of my top underrated movies. I recently seen this movie about three 3 weeks ago, and it just blew me away. It's like really just blew me away and stuff like that. But Higher Learning. This movie was directed by John Singleton, and John Singleton. You guys should know he has directed like Boys in the Hood, Poetic Justice, um, Rosebud, Baby Boy. Movies like that. And so basically the movie's about like it follows these three students. Um, And as far as like they're starting college and all that, and as far as their lifestyle in college and stuff like that, and they experience like racial tension in this movie. Yeah, so very dope movie. Um, the main cast includes Omar Epps. He is plays his character is Malik Williams. He's the main character. He's a track star. Um, Christy Swanson. She's played Kristen. She's like the naive kind of girl. You know what I'm saying? Um, she was actually the original Buffy off the Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like the 1992 movie, not the series though. Who else? Michael Rappaport, Remy. He's like the confused dude in the movie. I'm gonna get into his character. We have Ice Cube, Fudge, the Afrocentric guy. He's a senior for years. And by the way, if you're hearing in the background, I'm actually playing Ice Cube's song "Colorblind," the posse cut he did on the Death Certificate album. Dope song, dope album. Check out my review. Coincidentally, I'm playing that song while I'm reviewing the movie. Who else? And you have Jennifer Connelly, Taryn. She's like the junior lesbian. Tyra Banks. She plays Deja, aka Molly's girlfriend. And believe it or not, this is actually Tyra Banks' first movie she actually did. And I believe she was actually nominated. What was she nominated? Hold up, excuse me. I believe she was nominated for an NAACP. I believe so, and that's actually a really big thing. I could be mistaken, but that's actually really big. You being nominated in your first movie, though. Okay, we have Regina King, Monet, Kristen's roommate. Everybody knows who Regina King is. Dope actress and all that. She's been in movies like Friday. She was also on Poetic Justice. She does voice work for the Boondocks. Jason Wiles, Wayne Malik's roommate, Cole Hustler, and Scott Moss. He was the leader of the Nazi gang that Remy joins. Buster Rhymes, he played Dreads. Basically, Buster Rhymes is playing Buster Rhymes in this movie. That's the best way to put it. There. If you guys have seen the movie, y'all know what I'm talking about. And Lawrence Fishburne, he was my favorite character. He played Professor Maurice Phipps. Lawrence Fishburne, he's a very dope actor. Anything to do with acting, he always turns to gold, in my opinion. There's a lot of more people in the cast too, like Who else is in there? Morris Chestnut. He's in the movie Bridget Wilson, Trevor St. John, J.R. Ferguson. So there's like a lot of people in the movie. So um, give y'all some trivia about this. Now this movie was really based on John Singleton's college experiences, like shit he's seen in college. And so one part of the movie where I was reading up about this movie and the scene when um Malik and Deja they were looking at the statue of Christopher Columbus. I believe it was Christopher Columbus, yeah. And Remy came out of nowhere, and I think he saw that Malik was wearing a Black Power shirt, and he was like, "You support the Panthers?" And Malik's like, "Yeah." And he said something like, "Get real, it's 1995," and that was actually based on an experience that John Singleton actually that was actually based on the experience that happened with John Singleton, and and so also some trivia too. He originally wanted Sidney Poitier to play the professor, but he was not. Sidney Poitier was not available at the time. Um, then he wanted to get Samuel L. Jackson to play the professor too, and so of course Samuel wasn't available at the time either. He Johnson wanted Leonardo DiCaprio to play Remy, but Leonardo DiCaprio was making he was making a movie. What was that movie? What was that movie? What was that movie? What was that movie? Quick and the Dead around that time, and he originally wanted Tupac to play Malik, but Tupac was obviously jailed around that time for the sexual assault charge. Yeah, yeah, and like the opening, what I also read about this movie is like the opening week this movie was made. Um, one of the cast members, Jennings R. Kelson, who was actually on Boys in the Hood, he was one of Doughboy's friends. Like he actually got killed the opening day, and I think he was shot. And there was like a lot of violence like surrounding the opening week of that movie. And coincidentally, another one of John Singleton's movie, Boys in the Hood, they actually had another like a lot of violence in the opening week too. So I kind of think that's like kind of like a weird coincidence or an irony of that. Um, yeah. What else about this movie? I'm gonna get to my overall opinion after though. Some of my favorite scenes in the movie. Personally, wow. One of my favorite scenes is when um, it was when Monet she saw that Kristen was got raped and she was crying, and so I think the dude that raped Kristen called Monet, and he wanted to talk to Kristen, but Monet was like, oh, she doesn't want to talk right now, and so the dude was like, put her on the phone, you black bitch, and like all of a sudden, like it was like, holy shit, like she was like speechless though. So she got Fudge and his boys, and so they basically try to attack the dude and shit like that. And so I thought that was a really good scene because it not only showed it not only showed how like they have each other's backs. It's like I mean, what am I saying? It not only showed how he got his ass beat because he deserved it, but it also showed how Monet really had Kristen's back. You know what I'm saying? Despite like the racial tension in the movie. What else? I love the fight scene between like Malik and his boys and like Remy and his boys too. Very. I love the slow motion. He got to me like Buster Rhymes was like yelling and shit like that. Like he had his like war cry. He made me laugh the whole movie. I don't give a fuck. Um, I like Malik. I like Omar Epps and Tyra Banks' chemistry in that movie. Really dope. They really had some dope chemistry Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, I like how she kept him grounded and shit like that. Oh, what else? I like how Ice Cube's Fudge character was like, although he was a senior for like a couple of years, he was like the wisest one though. And I love the fact, like two scenes I liked from him was when one scene was when he was like chilling with Malik, and Malik said that he was reading the autobiography of Frederick Douglass, and so Malik was like, "What class are you reading this for?" And so Fudge was like, "So I gotta read that book for a class though? Why can't I just read to educate my mind?" Shit like that. Yeah. Oh, that was. Yeah. And so like it really showed how he was so wise at the same time though he wasn't like those other cats, you know, just because he stayed in college longer than others, it showed how he was the wisest. He was like wise beyond other people and stuff like that. Also, I like, excuse me, sorry about that. Also, one of my other favorite scene from him was when he was describing like all the racial groups, how all they're separated and all that. And so, like, I don't know, that scene really is kind of relevant, but at the same time, it's what really made the movie the movie. Like, you have to see the scene yourself. While he's like describing like the Asians are separated, and you have the hippie whites, and then you have like the preppy whites and all that. And my last favorite scene is when Lawrence Fishburne's character, Professor Phipps, he basically put Malik in his place when Malik was all like, he called him like a house nigga, and so basically like that's like one another classic scene. Like he was describing his mentality because of the fact that oh you're a house nigga because you act like you're better than all of them, but at the same time his character's been through like a lot. He didn't just become a professor overnight. You know, he worked hard. He experienced racial tensions himself. So that's basically what I got from the that's basically what I got from the that scene right there. All right, the soundtrack. Now this has a really diverse soundtrack to it. This movie has like singles that was known for it was like Raphael Sadiq's "Ask of You," which was a dope. That was like a big song back in 1995 and a dope song. That's like I think that was actually his first solo single if I'm not mistaken. Um, Mr. Grimm's "Situation Grim" and Rage Against the Machine's "Year of the Boomerang." Other songs are Ice Cube's "Higher," um, Michelle Nigel Oshello, I think I got her name, I don't know. Soul Searching, dope song. That was that song they were playing when they had that little costume party. For years I've been trying to find that song and I finally found it though. Liz Liz Fair had two songs up in here. Liz Fair, very dope artist by the way. John Abe, Outkast had a song here. Brand New Heavies. Yeah, it's like a nice mixture of hip hop, R&B, like smooth, like kind of like jazz, smooth jazz, like alternative rock, like a nice mixture of all of that. And that's why it kind of stood out. The soundtrack kind of stood out to me. Overall, this is a very good movie. And one thing I love about this movie is the fact that it not only point out the faults of white, but also point out the faults in blacks too. Cause like here's what I saw from the movie. See Malik's character, he basically sorry, but that was my phone. He basically he basically was like that guy, that angry black man, and like the cops were like every time Like he just had that like feeling that he knows everything. He expects the world to give him something because he's black, or he's like yeah, but he can tell you he was like the first black guy in his family. So he expects the world to like bow down to him. And like the professor was all like, that's not gonna happen. You have to work hard. You have to work hard to get at where you're at though. And so and also like the fact how Remy's character basically was like this weird kind of lonely guy, and like you can tell like he just wanted to be accepted by people, and he just wanted to have some friends, but you know the consequences of his actions include like himself saying the wrong thing at the wrong time, or he just so when he tried to find himself to that Nazi group, he thought he was having his friends, but like he didn't really know what he was really getting into. And so the Nazi group kind of shoved all that things in his mind, saying like the blacks are bad, the Jews are the worst enemy, and things of that nature. And what I also love about this movie was it really gave you like how each character had like the inner each character really had like their own style, and I was feeling like they really were not trying. Damn, how can I put this out? Like each character was very different. They came from different walks of life, and they were not really. Damn, I'm sorry. I just have this in my head though. Like I like how each character came from different walks of life and stuff like that. Also, I mean this movie actually got a few. It actually got like a mixed reviews when it came out, cause like they didn't really like the racial tension this movie had. Cause a lot of John Singleton's work kind of had like some racial kind of like it was like an angry movies like John Singleton. And so I don't know. I don't care what nobody says. This movie is a good movie, and it should be watched by everybody. Um, very good movie in my opinion. Like if you're a fan of Spike Lee's School Days, you would like this movie. But it's I'm not trying to compare the two. It's like in that same canon, in my opinion. If you guys know what I mean. Um, definitely gotta pick up the movie myself. Hands down, you guys need to check out this movie. And that's all the time I have. Stay tuned for more. Peace.